COVID it's been pretty rough for everyone. Like, is there anything specific that you went through during the COVID pandemic?
People that you hadn't seen in years, knew they were as close as your neighbor was.
Hanging out with my friends, that's something I would always look forward to on a daily basis. But because of COVID, obviously we're all stuck inside. And although I can call them, sometimes it just doesn't feel the same.
Right after high school, did you go and study music, or did you just jump right into a career as a musician?
Wow, these are really good. These are the most important things in my life that you're asking about. It's really good. The story goes like this.
Tiring to just look at a screen all day. But my teachers are definitely working hard to, make it as best as possible. And I've never really been a person who procrastinates too much, so that hasn't been very difficult for me. But sometimes motivating myself to do work, when you're in school, you're sort of forced to do the work because you're sitting in class, you have nothing else to do. But, at home, there's so many other things to do. So it can be a little bit hard to just sit down and do the work.
Junior high, 7th grade, and my local junior high school they offered language classes. So I took French. It was either French or Spanish. Those were the only two they offered. So I took French. And I'm sitting in my French class the second day of class, and there's posters all around the room of different places in France. And I'm learning to speak another language, and it hits me like a ton of bricks. I still remember this. I was thinking to myself, here I am, I'm speaking another language or learning to speak another language, and wouldn't it be so incredibly cool to live and work in another country somewhere around the world?
Especially high school students with all their activities and homework and schoolwork that they have on their back, always having those weight on their shoulders. But yeah, I would have to say the difficulty of adjusting. I know this applies for everyone actually, I feel but just especially for high school students, just the uncertainty of every day has been the biggest wall, I feel or biggest hit point for us.
Right.
Where are you from? You mentioned your husband's from the Middle East, and
Okay, I am from a small town in Iowa. I don't know if either one of you have ever heard of this town. It's called Fairbank. No S. It's not like Fairbanks, Alaska. So it's northeast of Iowa City, about 90 miles. When I was growing up, it had 850 people in it.
I feel it's just been learning when to take a break and learning to go easy on yourself, because I feel it's so easy when you have all this free time to be oh, it's not right for me to take a break right now because isn't this whole time a break? And I don't know, yes, I'm home all the time and I'm I don't know, not out and about and hustling and bustling and stuff that. You should be relaxed all the time, but I think that's so untrue. And actually I don't know, you're kind of more plugged in right now than ever because people can contact you all the time.
My dad was kind of more adventurous. My mom was kind of real prim and proper, and her favorite thing to say to me was act like a lady. That was kind of the number one thing she was concerned about. And now my dad, on the other hand, he was just kind of a lot more mellow and laid back. My mom, everything kind of had to be perfect, but not always.
You would get drafted when you're 18, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That's the year that your number would be called. So was that an anxiety factor, I guess, in high school? Were people nervous about it?
Very much so. I mean, we had other people that got drafted. I knew people, not close, but there were people that went to my high school that got drafted in the mid-'60s and got killed over in Vietnam. And and I had one of my best friends, his older brother had just graduated from college. So he starved himself. So he'd flunk his physical. There were people that were doing all kinds of things to avoid going to Vietnam.
You were born in China?
Yeah, I was born in Shanghai. I was supposed to be born in Hong Kong at like a more Western advanced hospital, but I came over a month early, so they didn't get there.
Okay. Did everything go okay with you? Are you all right? 15.
Yeah, I, I was just really small, but I mean, yeah, my mom, like, she said that like she was in labor for like maybe 3 hours.
And then I also help run Dance Marathon. And that's a mini of the University of Iowa Dance Marathon. So all of our money goes to the Children's Hospital and stuff. And yeah, I'm pretty passionate about that too, because my sister had cancer. And so we have always been a dance marathon family. We've always gone to dance marathon. And so that's important to me.
What do you think the biggest differences are between your generation and my generation?
Okay, I'm pretty uneducated on this, but I think social media usage, just like technology in general, like that's something major that comes up to me. Um, and then, yeah, I mean, I like think about like when I was little, how I never used my phone, and like now I can't like imagine a day without my phone, which is just like crazy to me, and I can't like imagine how it was back then.
Moving over from Korea, what do you recall as some of your first impressions of moving to the U.S.?
The first thought, I guess, when I landed here, I was like, whoa, there's so many like different types of people. There are like, because, you know, Korea is a very homogenous country. We don't really see any diversity at all. And sort of my friends all look like me, my parents, well, obviously my relatives, but just everyone around me just looked the same. But coming here, it was like all different types of people, different complexions, and, you know, all these different things. So I guess I was really, really shocked at first.
What's it been like for you in COVID time? And what do you think you learned maybe in this year that you might want to bring with you when people are vaccinated and things open up in a bit?
Yeah, I think I've definitely learned that I'm more of a social person than I thought. I have a lot of social anxiety, so it's easy for me to shy away from situations where I have to put myself in a spot. And since I haven't been forced to do any of those, I've realized just how lonely it is.
Do you have a favorite childhood memory?
A lot of memories on the farm. Was a pretty, colorful place, and that there were a lot of animals, and all the neighbors coming together and shucking corn or making hay and things like that.
Really great to see everything that the city has done to adapt to the pandemic. I really like how you can get your library books in the mail. I don't know why that comes to mind first.
Now with streaming services, when you used to have to like buy albums, it was like, I remember only listening to this album, for like 2 months, but now it gets a little more fuzzy. But definitely it's like an obscene amount. It's like 70 playlists or something like that during quarantine that are all like 5 hours long. So if that tells you anything about how I spend my time.
What was your favorite place?
I don't know. I don't really have like a favorite place. It's like it's a totally different experience in Iowa City and in Saudi Arabia, because it was super, super hot. And Iowa in the summer can also get like that, but the winter is like total opposite extreme.
I don't have a strong reason for this, but I've always loved Switzerland. I guess it goes back to my love for, the mountains and such, seeing the small villages. I've never been to Switzerland. I've never left the country, so I don't know too much about it just yet, but I've just thought it was always cool seeing the pictures, different opportunities there. People seem to be fairly happy, but I don't know. I'll have to explore it myself.
We've managed with like FaceTime and Zooms and things like that, but it would be really, really nice to see everyone. I'm really hoping graduation stays, I guess, close to normal, because
I'm leaving high school. I'm gonna be leaving all these people that I've been with for so long, and so yeah, I just really hope that I can see them all again one last time.